Man, where to start?
Well, how about how you feel? Because you're a mom.
I'm a mom.
You live in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I live in Oakland, and I've been here since '99. But I grew up in the middle of the country. I grew up in Montana and in North Dakota, almost half and half. And so, on the one hand, I feel like I was saying this to a friend yesterday. I have better coping skills because I grew up as my mom used to joke that we were one of the 50 liberals in the town where we lived, and so I know what it's like to live in a state where I fundamentally disagree with the policies of the person in charge. So in that regard, I feel like I'm a little better off than my Northern California brethren, and I am a little more politically pragmatic probably than they are. I feel profoundly disappointed, though, as a human being, because I am unable, as both a parent and like a feeler, to separate the human part of this story from the policy part. Like, I can't separate the racism and I can't separate the sexism, and I don't want us to live in a society where we're okay, where we say that's not a disqualifier. That said, I totally get why it happened, and all of the historical precedents were there for it to happen. Every time that you've had like 3 straight 2-term presidents in a row, this has happened. Every time you have income inequality, and I actually believe, to your memo, that it is less about, I call it a memo, like I'm so old school.
It is a memo.
To your memo, I think it's
And by
less.
the way, the person speaking is Molly Wood, who I forgot to
that's right.
introduce. I was so into my monologue that I got to look up Molly Wood Works.
Do you want to introduce Eric too?
We'll get to him.
We'll just go back to that.
Eric Newcomer is with Bloomberg, formerly of The Information. Molly Wood is formerly of CNET, The New York Times, and is now with Marketplace.
Yes.
On NPR or American Public Radio?
American Public Media. But we're on NPR. We're frenemies. It's like
frenemies,
it's a whole thing.
Continue, though.
I think that to put a more fine point on it, it is less specifically about jobs and more specifically about inequality and increasing inequality, and not just a lack of jobs maybe, but a lack of opportunity and perceived opportunity, and sort of a confluence of policies that prevent people from being able to achieve anything more than what they have. In fact, a lot of Trump supporters were not unemployed or really low income, right? The average, I think, income was more like around $72,000. It wasn't people who were necessarily themselves hurting or unemployed, and it was in areas that themselves had low unemployment, regardless of how it's reported. A lot of college-educated white men and women voted for Trump. And the reason that they did that is they said what Trump and Bernie said, right? This system doesn't work for us. It is not working. It hasn't been working since frankly, I've lost the phrase because I can't think, but it hasn't been working since profit over people sort of took hold in this country for the last 20 or 30 years. So I think there were plenty of historical suggestions that a populist revolt, and not just even historical, but global, like that's what's happening all over the world. It should be no surprise to us that it happened here, because every time you have massive income equality on a broad scale and people feel a lack of opportunity, they revolt. Eric, it's just that liberals somehow thought the revolution would come from our side, and it never does.
Eric,
ever.
Molly brings up the jobs versus opportunity,
right,
as well as race.
Yep.
When you look at this, and we're unpacking the statistics, as we speak, and trying to figure out what exactly happened, because all of our great statisticians and handicappers got this wrong, including the betting markets, which is phenomenal, because the betting markets
the markets were wrong. That's impossible.
Well, the betting markets typically get it right. So there's the market of 538.
They were wrong on Brexit also, right?
Well, no, the money got Brexit right.
The money on Brexit turned faster, I thought, but they still reflected the polls, I thought.
Yeah, my understanding was the money got Brexit right, but the pollsters didn't. Here we have everybody getting it wrong, everybody across the board.
Yeah.
So what does that say? And then how much of this is the opportunity in jobs versus other?
Yeah, in
your mind.
I think my first point is it's just going to take a while to unpack all of this. I look back when Obama was elected, I think nobody wanted to talk about the Tea Party. Some on the left would say, okay, the Tea Party was racist or this and that, but I don't think we really came to a consensus that some of the backlash against Obama was based on his race, and that the birth certificate thing should be talked about as race first and foremost, until we had a lot of time from it, until we looked at other movements, until a lot of other things happened. That was not sort of the main message in the reaction to Obama at first. It was very oh, it's all about Obamacare. People took it on its face. So I think we're going to go through a lot of evolutions on what we want to believe, right? I think a lot of the answers people are giving are what they want to believe more than what we know to be true, because it's impossible right now to separate whether people opposed Hillary Clinton because of just jobs or of just race or of just sex. I think all of them played a part. And I mean, there's so many contradictions here. You could have supported Obama previously, and there were Obama coalition members who voted for Hillary Clinton that might still be motivated by racist or sexist beliefs, right? I mean, people are not all racist, all sexist. There are things that they believe that are racist and sexist, and there are certainly people that, I'm not saying there aren't extreme racists, but I'm saying even regular people have some racist tendencies and some sexist tendencies, and it's going to be really hard to sort of say, oh, well, they really feel alienated. Well, that's partially because they have a boring job maybe, and partially because they want to look at their president and feel like it's like them, And so I think race and sex are going to play a part about it. But I think I'm sorry if I'm supposed to come on and say I've figured it out, because I think I'm just sort of reeling. I mean, I don't know how anyone here in San Francisco can say we know what happened because nobody expected it to happen. We are the most disconnected place from America
and apparently,
right now.
Let me take a moment to thank Squarespace for, first of all, making amazing software. I was just working on one of the new projects I'm working on. You may have heard of television show. And we had to make a website. And I just went on to Google Domains, and I was buying a domain over at Google Domains. And boom, you could just, when you're setting up your Gmail, fire up and launch Squarespace. I guess they're partners now. And I was able to fire up a gorgeous website in literally minutes, and it looked like we spent $25,000 making it. It looks professional. It's intuitive and easy to use. No coding is required. And they use state-of-the-art tech. It's super secure. It's super stable, and it's trusted by millions, some of the most respected brands in the world. We, in fact, use it for all of our events and conferences, and you can start your free trial today. No credit card is required. And you'll get a free domain name if you sign up for a year. I'm an idiot. I did it wrong. I signed up at the wrong domain place. I didn't know that I would get a free domain. I got to go back and do that next time. If you decide to sign up for Squarespace, if you do decide that you're going to sign up for Squarespace, which I'm sure you will, just use the promo code TWIST and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. It is an amazing, amazing product. It's super easy to use, and they keep adding features to it, which is one of the great things about the software as a service movement. They keep getting more people loyal to the product. They keep being able to hire more product managers, developers, and researchers to figure out what to make next. And boom, they make amazing product, and they keep the price the same. So things are getting better and better over there at Squarespace. I love the product. Go ahead and follow at Squarespace.